All right, hello everyone. Movie Albert here at Owl's Place, and today I want to talk about a few Criterion movies. Well, I picked up two Criterion movies during the Criterion sale, and also picked up one movie from Keno Lober. And so today I want to talk about uh, those movies that I picked up. And the first one I want to talk about is a movie that I saw actually in 70 millimeter when it came out, and the movie is Days of Heaven. And I picked this up during the Criterion sale. I didn't have the movie at all, actually. And so I got a chance to pick up Terrence Malick's Days of Heaven. And this is the Criterion DVD. It's a beautiful shot movie. Um, and it's got a great cast. It stars Richard Gere, of course, Brooke Adams, and Sam Shepard. It came out in 1979. It was an Oscar winner for Best Cinematography, and also was nominated for Best Sound with Ennio Morricone. And to me, Ennio Morricone made some terrific scores for movies, especially the spaghetti westerns. You might remember. Here is the one sheet for Days of Heaven. I actually have this one sheet, and the story of Days of Heaven. Well, it's one of a kind filmmaker, philosopher Terrence Malick, says here on the DVD, has crafted some of the most visually arresting film in the last century, and his glorious period piece, Days of Heaven. I mean, it's beautifully shot. And when I saw it in the theaters, I saw it in 70 millimeter, which um, is sort of unheard of today. Now, you have some films coming out in retro houses in 70 millimeter, some new ones and some old ones. It takes place in the mid 1910s. A Chicago steelworker, played by Richard Gere, accidentally kills his supervisor and flees with his girlfriend, played by Brooke Adams, and his little sister, played by Linda Mance, to the Texas Panhandle, where they find work harvesting wheat in the fields of a stoic farmer, played by Sam Shepard. And Sam Shepard's character is actually not a nice guy. He comes across that way. And a love triangle, and a swarm of locusts, and a hellish fire. Malik captures it with dreamlike authenticity, creating a timeless American classic. It's a beautiful movie to watch. Here's the cast of Days of Heaven, and it's a wonderful movie. It's beautiful to watch. Uh, I had a chance to see it on a big screen, and I remember that. But for some reason, like I said, I never picked up the DVD until I got the Criterion version. Um, let's see, because the Criterion, they have their sale in July and November. Everything is 50% off. In other words, if a movie is $50, it's $25. Everything is half off. And I think I got this one for 30. I think, I can't remember. I think it was 30. Um, Here's a scene from Days of Heaven. It's beautiful. It's just a beautiful, beautiful movie. Highly recommend it. Here is Sam Shepard and Brooke Adams. See, he kind of falls in love with Richard Gere's girlfriend, and there's a little love triangle going on. And it's so. And there's Sam Shepard. He's a terrific actor, by the way. I think he's really underrated. There you go to the cast again. And the um, the Criterion, I'll show you. It has the Blu-ray and the 4K. Now, I don't have a 4K player. I've got a Epson projector that will project 4K, but you have to have a 4K player, and I just don't have one of those yet. And one thing about Criterion movies, they come with some really cool things on the inside. Like this one has. Let me see here if I can pull it up. It has a booklet, and it tells all about the movie, of course, and it's just a good read. It's just, I mean, Criterion does a great job on their films. There you go. I just think it's really terrific. Um, haven't had a chance to watch it because I just received it first of this week and haven't had a chance to watch it yet. There's a yeah. Great story. It's just I can't recommend this movie enough. There's Brooke Adams, story about her. I mean, it seems like a long time ago. It was 1979, but it's still in my memory from seeing it in the theaters. Um, I saw it here in Atlanta in seven. I think it was like at Phipps Plaza. There you go. It's just anyway. It's just a terrific movie, and I highly recommend Days of Heaven with Richard Gere, Brooke Adams, and Sam Shepard, directed by Terrence Malick. He watched the movie Badlands, which is also a movie. It shows the landscape of the country and the fields and stuff. And he watched that, and I believe he used the same cinematographer that shot that to shoot Days of Heaven. Anyway, wonderful movie. Here's the poster again. And if you get a chance to pick up the DVD or Blu-ray, it's available through Amazon. The Criterion sale ended, I think, on the 5th of December. So, but yeah, I recommend it. It's a terrific movie. So then I want to move on to another one I picked up during the Criterion sale, and is Breathless. Came out in 1960. Was filmed in 1959. Came out in 1960. Jean-Luc Godard's movie. It's a French film. This stars Jean-Paul Belmont and Jean Seberg. Jean Seberg is, of course, an American actress, but she speaks French fluently in the movie. This movie came out in 1960, directed by Jean-Luc Godard, or Godard, I think they pronounce it, as I mentioned, and stars Jean-Paul Belmondo, Jean Seberg, and also Jean-Luc Godard. He's got a small part in the movie himself. And the thing about this movie, he shot it basically without a script. And there's a movie that's on Netflix. It's called Nouvelle Vague. The French pronunciation is vague. The American pronunciation is vague, but it's Nouvelle Vague. It's on Netflix, and it's the story, the making of Breathless. And it's what put Jean-Luc Godard on the map. A black and white movie, and it's a new wave film, French new wave film. And here's a scene from it. There you have Jean-Paul Belmondo and Jean Seberg. It's a wonderful movie. I watched it just a couple of nights ago. Now, I've seen it before, but I picked up the Criterion, which I'll show you in a second. But that's it. That's the scene. Isn't that great? It's it's the story basically. Jean-Paul Belmondo is a thug. He's just a thief, and he'll screw anybody out of money, and he steals cars, and he's just he has no life except for thievery, and he falls in love. Well, he falls in love with Jean Seberg, and she's an American in Paris, selling newspapers, and so they strike up a relationship. But he uses other women too to get money from them. He actually steals from them and stuff. Here is another scene right there. But Jean Seberg was a terrific actress. She was in a lot of good American movies, but she learned French, and when she moved to Paris, she didn't speak a word of French, and she had to learn. And you would never know that she was not French. She's so good. It's really kind of a violent and honest movie. And let me show you, I've got the Criterion. There you go. Breathless. And like I said, Criterion comes out, they have, they give you so much for the money, even if you pay full price. And there's the the inside. Of course, there's the, let's see, there's the back with all the extras. And also on the inside of there's the this is just a Blu-ray. This is not a 4K. This is the Blu-ray here. And I have and it comes with a booklet. Like I said, you know, there's the book, and it's just, it has everything about the movie. You know, Criterion does a wonderful job. And it's got all the information on how they got to print and digitized it and cleaned it up. And it's got, of course, the story, the making of. There you go. Really cool stuff. This makes getting the Criterion stuff so important. If you're a cinephile and a movie buff like I am, you really want the best you can get, and only buy them when they're half price. And sometimes you can pick them up used, like on eBay or Amazon. They'll have used copies, but I think this one was only like $26 on sale, and it's worth every penny. And it's there's the little, you got pictures from the movie. It's just, there you go. Look at that. Isn't that cool? Yeah. It's really, you know, this was Jean-Paul Lugard's first movie, really. And like I said, he wrote the script the day before, and he never told, trying to get this back in here, he never told the actors they didn't have a script. They would show up for work every day, and he would explain to them, you know, the movie, what the lines were, and tell them how he wanted it played out. And he shot everything with a handheld camera. There's Jean-Paul Belmondo and Gene Seberg. But he shot everything with a handheld camera, which, you know, that way he didn't have to have a tripod to set up the camera to shoot the scenes. It takes up too much time. You know, he shot the film in a fairly short period of time using a handheld camera. But watching the movie, you don't get the feel that it's a handheld camera. It's not jerky or anything like that. It's just wonderful. There was a remake of Breathless with Richard Gere that came out in the 80s, and I really don't remember that movie very well. I saw it, but you can't compare with this movie here that was filmed in 1959 in Paris and released to theaters in 1960. And like I said, if you want to find out more about the movie, if you have Netflix, you know, you can watch Nouvelle Vague, the making of Breathless. It's still on Netflix, and it's wonderful. It's wonderful to watch. And the actors they got to play Jean-Paul Belmondo and Gene Seberg, they look almost like them anyway. They're terrific. You know, for 4 years the movie was banned because of its content. It was considered, well, not sexual or risque. It was just the idea that Jean-Paul Belmondo was a crook, and, you know, didn't have a very, you know, he was not portrayed as a good human. But it was banned for 4 years, and they finally released it. But it's a wonderful movie. Like I said, you know, whoop, that's not. Oops, sorry about that. That'll come up. I didn't mean to punch that up. But yeah, it's terrific. If you like French New Wave, which, I mean, I like all kinds of movies, you know, and I like art house films mainly, and I like Hollywood movies too as well. But I'm a big fan of the art house and the French New Wave. I've got a lot of other criterions like the 400 Blows and stuff I'll talk about later on. But I really liked Breathless. Terrific movie. If you get a chance, you might want to check it out. There we go. And both of these characters are easy on the eyes. They're nice looking. and they're terrific actors. And sadly, well, they're both deceased now. Jean Seberg died, I think, she was very young. She got involved with the Black Panthers or something of that nature, and she was found dead. And Jean Paul Belmondo, I think he died. Let me see when he died. But you watch this movie and it looks like it was made, recently. It's just that good. Um, let's see. Uh, I'm looking. Yeah, Jean Paul Belmondo was born in 1933 and he passed away in 2021. He was 88 years old. Um, he studied at the conservatory for acting there in Paris. Let's see. And Jean Seberg, let's see, she was born in 1938 and she passed away in 1979 at age 40. She was in a movie I like with Clint Eastwood, Paint Your Wagon. But she was terrific in it. Like I said, it's just I really, really liked it. Breathless. And if you can't get the Criterion, I think it's available on Blu-ray or DVD. But like I said, I just like physical media. And because with the my camera back on, with the purchase of if Netflix is going to buy Warner Brothers, which I'm totally against, I don't think that's a good thing. Who knows what's going to happen to physical media when it comes to Warner Brothers? But I don't think anything is going to really happen with it. I think it'll stay the same for a while. And I hear that Warner Brothers will still have theatrical rights up until 2029 to release films in theaters. And that's what people were worried about. They were worried about, Warner Brothers or Netflix may not put a lot of Warner Brother movies in the theaters, which they need the theaters. The money they're spending on to buy Warner Brothers, they're going to need the theaters to promote their stuff. You can't do it with just streaming. And I hope Netflix doesn't raise their prices on the stream since they're spending all this money to buy Warner Brothers. I don't know if Paramount's completely out of the picture. They're upset that they didn't get it. So we'll see. It still has to be approved, So we'll see if it gets approved, which it probably will. But I'm a big fan of still going to the movie theaters, and I don't want that to change because you're with people. You're in an environment that's just nothing but film. It's nothing but movies. Yeah, you can watch stuff on your TV, and I can watch it downstairs in my theater. It's great, but I just like going to the theater, smelling the popcorn, and seeing other people enjoy movies. It's just and I prefer going to the movies by myself. Actually, that way I'm not disturbed. Let's see here. Another movie that I picked up this month. It's not a Criterion, but it's a Keno Lober. Now, Keno Lober makes terrific movies also. I mean, releasing in physical media. And the movie that I picked up from Keno Lober is La Dolce Vita. Black and white movie. This movie came out. Let me get my notes. I've seen it, but it's been a long time ago. This movie came out in 1960 as well. From the Italian director Federico Fellini, and Fellini's made a lot of great movies too. Now it's the story. It follows a week in the life of a philandering tabloid journalist living in Rome, and it stars Marcel Master. Can't even say it. Mastrotoni. I'm sorry, Anita Egbert, and it's directed by Frederick Fellini, and it deals with decadence and celebrity culture. Here's a scene here from the with Marcel Mastroianni and Anita Egbert. Now it's like I said, it's the story of a journalist and a week in Rome and all the decadence. And this it has a special introduction by I haven't watched this yet, but it's got a special introduction by Martin Scorsese. It's one of his favorite movies. Um, so I have to try and watch this week. It's the culture of stardom and a look at the darkness beneath the seductive lifestyle of Rome's rich. And the film follows a notorious celebrity journalist over one crazy week, um, with iconic imagery, including the mesmerizing Trevor Fountain sequence. And the movie influenced generations of filmmakers, including Martin Scorsese, who um, does an introduction and talks about the movie. Um, and this Blu-ray disc contains the digital restoration undertaken um, by the Film Foundation. Uh, and I have, let me see, I'll show you the Keno Lober um, disc. There it is right there, Blu-ray, the Dolce Vita. Now this just has the Blu-ray. There's the back right there. Of course, there's no extras in there. This is just the. And what's cool, I got this on Amazon. It's brand new. It's not used. You know what I paid for that? $5.99, and it came with free shipping because I have Amazon Prime. You can't beat that price. There you go. Isn't that great? I got. Let's see here. I've got some more images. Let me see here what I got. There you go. Marcel Mastroianni. Um, it's a decade. Here's the college of people in the movie. Oh, great movie. I'm real happy with my purchases. I don't buy that many really because I've got so many physical media. I probably have I don't know 1,500 or so DVDs and Blu-rays, and so I need to start watching some of those. But I only pick up a few stuff that I get a deal on. I don't pay full price. But this is a wonderful movie. So I picked up La Dolce Vita, Breathless, and Days of Heaven. 3 good movies I've got to watch this coming week. Let me go back to my camera here. Coming back up. Yeah. All right, there we go. See my little Christmas tree back there? Ta-da! So it's Days of Heaven, Breathless, and La Dolce Vita were my purchases this past week. And I got a deal on them. I didn't spend a lot of money on them. So that's a good thing where you don't have to spend a lot of money. And, last time I came on, I talked about the movie Is Paris Burning, one of my favorite war movies. I still have the DVD in here. But what I forgot to mention, the title is Paris Burning, is spoken by Hitler at the end of the movie because he is talking to I just realized Jean-Paul Belmondo was in this movie. That's right. He's in His Paris Burning. He doesn't have a huge part in it, but he's in that. But it's Anthony Perkins, and he says anyway. But what at the end of the movie, he's talking to the general that was going to destroy Paris, was going to burn Paris if it fell into the hands of the Americans or the French. He ordered it burned. What, my mind's a blank. What was that guy's name? It's just like Gert Ford. He was the guy. Anyway, when he in the movie when he gave up and went with the Americans, he was on the phone with Hitler, and he lays the phone down, and Hitler's on there, and you hear Hitler, speaking, is Paris burning? Is Paris burning? Because he thought it was burning. But anyway, I just wanted to mention that. That's where the title comes in at the end of the movie, because you hear him say, "Is Paris burning? Is Paris burning?" Christmas time is coming around, and we all have favorite Christmas movies, and I have several. But I think if I had to pick one, I'm going to talk about it later. But my favorite Christmas movie of all time came out in 1968. The Lion in Winter. It takes place at Christmas time. It's got a great cast. I'm going to talk about it next week, if not sooner. But Katharine Hepburn, Peter O'Toole. It's just a wonderful movie. It's got a great cast. Peter O'Toole, Katharine Hepburn. Let's see here. Timothy Dalton is in it. Let's see, Anthony Hopkins is in it. A very young Anthony Hopkins, by the way, and a very young Timothy Dalton. He played in the Bond movie. But anyway, I'm going to talk. This is a great movie. I mean, it's beautifully done. It's got a great score, and really, it's well written. It's got great dialogue. It's a really snappy dialogue, because King Richard and Katharine Hepburn, he banishes her because he wants a younger woman, and he invites her back to the castle for Christmas, and so she spends Christmas with Peter O'Toole, which was her husband, and her children. And her two boys is played by Timothy Dalton and Anthony Hopkins. No, not Timothy Dalton. He's not. He's the king of peace. It was Anthony Hopkins plays his son, and not Nigel Terry, John Castle, I believe. But anyway, it's one of. I'll be watching this. And if you're in the Atlanta area, where I live, I'm a big fan of the Tara Theater and the Plaza, owned by my friend Christopher Escobar. And they're going to be showing The Lion in Winter on the big screen at the Tara, December the 12th. And I will be there for that. I mean, I watch it at home, but I don't recall seeing it in the theater in 1968. Maybe I did. I can't remember. But I'm going to go to the Tara to see it on December the 12th. They're running a series of Christmas movies, at the Tara, like It's a Wonderful Life and some others. But I do want to go see Is Paris Burning? The Lion in Winter at December the 12th. Also like movies with snow. And I'll tell you about a movie I'm going to talk about later on too. I like movies with snow, and I like movies with trains. And one with snow is a movie you probably have never heard of, Dark Valley. I picked up a used copy of this. This is with Sam Riley. And Sam Riley is a terrific actor. I know you've seen him in some movies. He's really, really good. And this is a great movie. I saw it on the IFC channel on television, and I picked up this used copy, I think, for $4 or $5 a while back. But if you like snow, and it's sort of violent, but it's wonderful. The Hateful Eight got a lot of snow, and that's going to be shown at the Tara in 70 millimeter coming up at the end of the month. But anyway, this is a good movie about snow. I like movies with snow, and it's wintertime, and so why not? We'll watch movies with snow. But that's it. I wanted to come in here and talk about the movies I picked up for the month. Two from Criterion and one from Keno Lober. Now, Keno Lober is a great company too. I've got a lot of their stuff. They release a lot of stuff on Blu-ray, which I have a Blu-ray player, of course. But anyway, it's really nice to have this stuff to be able to look at, because when you stream movies, that's great. You can watch them. I can actually stream movies downstairs in my theater. But the streaming services, they can actually take the movie away at any time. I mean, they can decide when it's gone. But if you have the physical media, you can watch it anytime you want. And so that's why I still collect physical media. And I've been doing it for a very long time. I started collecting when I was collecting film back in the day before we had VHS tape or Betamax. I collected 16 millimeter film, and I still have a bunch of that too. I sold a lot of it, but I still have a bunch. So I still watch 16 millimeter from time to time. But it's so easy to go downstairs and pop in a DVD or Blu-ray and just watch it and enjoy it. But anyway, I wanted to come in here and talk about stuff I picked up, and I appreciate you tuning in and watching. Like I said, I want to come in here and talk about The Lion in Winter, and I'll have scenes from that coming up here in the next few days, probably. I'll come in here and do that. But anyway, thanks for, I appreciate everything. And if you listen to me on Spotify or any platform, you can go to YouTube and just type in Al's Place, AL''S Place, 2 different words. And follow me on YouTube. I think I have 210 subscribers. I'd like to get more. So I'm on YouTube, Al's Place, and also on Twitch. It's movie Albert on Twitch. And so and the only Facebook page I'm on is Film and Movie Enthusiast. That's on Facebook. So you got YouTube at Al's Place, you got Twitch, Movie Albert, and you got Facebook, Film and Movie Enthusiast. But if you like and follow, I would appreciate it. I don't think anybody tuned in. Let me just see. There's no chat. No comment. Let me see the chat. Blah, 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 blah. I don't see it. There we go. But anyway, like I said, I appreciate it. And I just like I talk about movies and physical media most of the time. And sometimes it's, nostalgia stuff that we used to do. But it's mainly, since I retired and work part-time now, I like to entertain myself with going to the movie theater and watching stuff here at home. But anyway, have yourself a great rest of the day. And I do appreciate you watching. And I'll talk to you and see you again real soon. Okay. Bye-bye.